yeah, the first 1,000 Instagram followers are the hardest ones, but here's the thing, they're also the most important ones. So in this video, we'll deconstruct your first 1,000 followers. I'll give you a roadmap that you can follow along with some other tips so you don't get lost. And here's the thing, it's gonna cost you something. It's gonna cost you a like and maybe even a comment down below. So let's get into it. Other people, if you're not new here, you kind of know what this means. We're gonna go to the drawing board of hell. But before, I kind of have to preface this. You know, a lot of people say, you know, Dominic, isn't it too late to start Instagram? You know, the algorithm hates me. It's so hard to grow. But here's the thing, that's actually what it's about. That it's kind of hard to grow, harder than before, because all the other people that were in this whole path, they were just there just to make it crowded, and you know, it's all easy. You know, a lot of people, they're all gone now because it's a little bit harder. So you being there actually sets you apart from 99% of the other people. Plus, here's another thing, a lot of the times people come over to me and they're like, you know, I just want to choose Instagram because it's easy, because it's the effort is kind of low. I can just throw up my pictures and my posts and that's about it. You know, here's the thing, you really think that if you want to build something sustainable, something that sticks, something that maybe eventually will pay your bills, you think that you can just build that based on some low effort? Probably not, my friends, but you're smart kids and you know that. So let's get into that. Let's fire up my drawing board. And let me just tell you the main 3 points that every Instagram profile, especially if you're starting out right now, has to have. So in order to get the foot off the ground, you're going to have number one, this is a egg. Number one, which is the optimization. You know, we're going to talk about exactly what that is. The second thing that you have to have are these precious algorithm points, which are super important, especially from the beginning. And the third point is engaging content. You know, every profile that you see, you know, just go ahead, take a look at every successful Instagram profile out there has these 3 points. Naturally, there's some sub points, which we're going to get into right now. So what is this egg? What means optimization? And this is, you know, basically something that not a lot of people talk about, something a lot of people just don't want to accept that. They kind of want to neglect that. There's some groundwork before you have to get into that. You know, there's some things that you have to do. For example, competitor research. You know, competitor research. You know, you're going to have to know what's up, what's out there. Are there some competitors of, you know, my potential niche out there already? What's going on? You know, the chances are if somebody's out there already doing exactly the same kind of thing or something similar to what you want to do, chances are that, you know, it's going to work out. And plus, you can actually kind of take a look, you know, what are they doing? You know, maybe it works for me as well, exactly, or almost the same thing. So, you know, take some inspiration. They kind of do a lot of testing for you, your competitors. And if you're like, I want to do exactly this, nobody's done that before, it's my thing, I'm a unique snowflake. Probably not. You know, just take it as it is. You're probably not a unique snowflake. If you are, you know, I say congratulations. You know, call me. I want to talk to you. But still, most of the times, you're probably not going to be one. So start off with something that you know people already kind of are doing right now. Coming from that actually is figuring out a niche. And there's this saying called the niches are in the riches. You hear it all the time probably. And basically it means you really have to go deep into that. And you have to take a look at, if you do your competitor research, you know, are they broad or are they not broad? But always kind of even go deeper into that, because here's the thing, and this is just a short discourse into the Instagram algorithm. This is how it works. Basically, there's this audience out there. Yeah, let's just put it that way. There's your potential audience out there. This is one niche. But you say, okay, I kind of want to do this, a little bit of this, and a little bit of this, which a lot of people want to do. Now, here's the thing. The Instagram algorithm tries to find your audience for you, okay? It's not against you. I'm pretty positive about that. So, but here's the thing. If you have 3 or 4 or 10 or 2 different niches out there, it's going to take a look what's going on, and it's going to find some overlapping audiences. And then it's going to be like, okay, this and this is the data that people want to see here. This is what they have in common, but there's also something like this that they have in common. So it's kind of going to be hard for the algorithm to figure out actually what your audience is, because the algorithm wants to serve your audience. So actually just stay there, and all of a sudden the algorithm knows a whole bunch of more people that it could show your content to. Now, if you've got that nailed down, the next step that you want to take is the profile optimization phase. And, we're going to talk about it really in depth in my upcoming program, Instagram Black File. If you don't know what that is, basically, I can't wait to show it to you guys. It's going to be something you've never seen before, something that maybe even is going to be taught in universities. I tell you how it is. We're going to talk about growing a sustainable Instagram account plus monetization, the way nobody has ever talked about before. It's gonna blow your minds. Anyway, if you wanna know what's happening, if you want to see some behind the scenes, some other stuff that I wouldn't dare to share here, link is down below. Get on the wait list. I'm gonna send you some things that like I said, I would never talk here. I can't talk here. Plus, I just tell you how it is. It's once it drops, it's just gonna be here for a short term, and it's gonna be really limited. So you want to be on this list. Link is down below. Anyway, so what do you want to do on your Instagram profile optimization? And there's a lot of things that we could go a lot more in depth. But for your first 1,000 followers, especially, is brand yourself. And talking about that, okay, just think about what is your brand and why. And this is actually the only thing at this stage that you should ask yourself. Why should people follow you? I'm pretty sure nobody, or not a lot of people, actually really taking their time and just sit down and think, okay, why should people follow me? Think about that, write that down, and then just put it in your bio. People come here, the algorithm's gonna serve your people to your profile. People come here and they're gonna know, okay, why should I follow them? That's what everybody asks themselves subconsciously. And they're gonna be like, okay, this is exactly why. I wanna hit that follow button. Another thing, especially if you're new here, I strongly advise you to watch my Instagram algorithm video. We talk about it a lot more in depth, but especially in the beginning, you don't wanna put in a link in your bio. You just don't want to do that. Basically, it has to do with Instagram assessing if you are a spammer, if you really mean it, what your intentions are. So if you're, at least for your first 1,000 followers, don't put a link in there. If you want to know why, go to my video, watch the other video. But for now, just believe me, it's going to make a huge difference. Which brings me to the next phase here, which is the other thing that you have to dial in those algorithm points. What does that mean? We kind of tackle upon it. First algorithm point is, okay, it has to know what's up. It has to know, all right, this potential sub audience will be, will be fitting to your profile. If you're like, okay, I'm starting right now, how can I get algorithm points? If I start right now, don't have followers, nothing's gonna happen. And here's the thing, it's called social media. You have to be social. This is the first steps into becoming social and to becoming friends with the algorithm. Be social, build a community. Actually, even before that, just participate in the community. Are you kidding me? Be part of the community. Do your research, in terms in the optimization phase and everything. You should do some competitor research. This is your competitor. With some ears. This is your competitor. You should, like we said, you should do some research, interact with those people. And here's the thing, I'm not saying you should do some follow things, especially not with a bot, okay? This is another thing in terms of, growing really sustainably. Your first 1,000, you don't want to use any bot or any automation, because Instagram knows. But basically bots, they're not here for no reason. Basically, people were like, okay, I want to, engage in the community. Because how, and this is really interesting, just kind of getting a little bit off track here, but if you watch my my podcast I recently did with my dear friend Florian, we talked about the beginnings of this whole online community building things, becoming an influencer 10, 15 years ago, and we actually figured out that the beginnings of this whole things happened in forums. And the only way to grow some audience, to grow some respect on forums, obviously, was just to engage in the community. So you want to do that. For example, the community your competitors already have built, and you want to engage with them. You know, whatever that is, like, follow, all these things, engage with them and go from there. The way, when you do that, you're gonna feed, again, the algorithm, the precious first data points. And the algorithm's gonna start serving your content. All of a sudden, you're gonna see, wow, I can rank again in the hashtags. And here's the other thing about all these algorithm points. You know, you're gonna hear a lot if you watch the other Instagram videos and blog posts. There's one thing that everybody says, but nobody really knows why. It's about consistency. Consistency. And here's something that I figured out only recently when when we were doing research for my upcoming software called Kipfluence. If you want to get more brand deals and stuff like that, we're launching pretty soon. But anyway, doing some research for that, I tracked my profile for a while. I tracked the reach I got and kind of how the algorithm performs with my profile. So I saw one week I didn't post anything, no story, nothing, and I saw this happen. If you don't post, you're not gonna reach a lot of people, and you're not gonna get the algorithm points from those people, because you reach people, these people interact with you, you interact with them, the algorithm gets some points and knows what to do. If you don't post a lot, if you're not consistent with your content, the algorithm doesn't have some data points that you have. And you believe it or not, I have on my my personal profile, I have, 30,000 followers or something. And there was one day where I reached 75 people. I mean, just think about that. I reached 75 people because I didn't post nothing, So if you don't post, if you're really slacking off, nothing's going to happen. The next day I posted again, guess what? 13K reach or more, probably even. And this is, just see the difference between these and just those data points. So if you post consistently and more than once a week, for example, the more the better, obviously, especially in the beginning phases of this whole thing. Basically, this is what you do. You put your content out. You kind of try to see what do my stats say? Is there maybe something that performs better than other things? For example, you can use my Instagram tracking growth tracking sheet somewhere, a link down below for free, obviously. But for example, you check out and you see this type of content always does 20% better or something like that. If you see something like that, double down on that and go all in on this content in this niche. You're going to see the algorithm even is going to show you more of that. Algorithm points, engaging content. We talked about it right now, obviously. It's about participating in the community and also creating content that people actively want to engage in, that people want to share, that people want to have some community thing going on, that people want to, talk to you and relate with you and, communicate with you. How are you going to do that? And that's another thing I see a lot of profiles do kind of wrong, especially at the beginning. They are on some different level. You always have to be at least on the same level as your audience is. They always kind of have to feel like they're talking to a friend. They're talking to somebody approachable. And this is the thing. Have some approachable content. Approachable content and relatable content. Relatable content. If you have that, along with these things, you're going to get those social signals, those algorithm points, and you're going to start growing organically. And here's another bonus tip for you to make that work. And it's not a bonus tip. It's actually a huge main tip and main point of growing initially. If you're not shadow banned, if you've not done any weird tactics, if you've been a good kid, done all of the things I have told you right now, optimized, you're going to want to use hashtags to your advantage. A lot of people are like, hashtags don't work anymore, Dominik. It just doesn't work anymore. I don't know. I don't have a hashtag reach anymore. I get 20 of those daily in my DMs. But here's the thing, they actually do work, believe it or not. You could be shadow banned, but if you stop doing all the crazy tactics, you're slowly gonna get into normal stuff and really focus on a hashtag strategy. I did a video about hashtags. If you want to dive a little bit more deeper into hashtags, it's linked somewhere down. But basically, you don't want to have a set of hashtags. You know, I have this one set of hashtags, or I have two sets of hashtags that I always kind of use. Don't do that. That's gonna hurt you a lot. You know, you're not gonna believe this, but no, don't do this. Each post should have a unique set of hashtags. Let's say 75% of the hashtags that you use are unique, and the other ones are just some ones that you always use. But do that. Please, believe me, it's gonna help so much. If you really wanna, be professional about this, use the tool, use a hashtag tool. You know, for example, I use Hashtastic, which is, I could just say it's an amazing tool. I really use it all the time. It's given me great results. I get students and everybody else tells me they've been getting great results with Hashtastics. And actually, a lot of the times, this thing right here, the hashtags are really starting to work if those things are nailed down. You know, you might not want to believe me, but this is actually true. So, it was kind of a lot. Go through this whole thing one more time. If you want to kind of have a jump start, by the way, I have an Instagram starter course, start telling you everything that we talked about right now, but just a lot more in depth. It's linked down in the description. And if you really want to dig deep, if you really want to have the definite Instagram experience, and if you want to know everything that I know, basically, wait for the Instagram black file. It's gonna be huge. I can't wait to show that with you. Like I said, down below in the description, the waiting list, there's some exclusive things that I'm just gonna share with you if you're on this list. And yeah, we're just gonna talk again in a couple of days, I guess. If you have some more questions about today's content, if you want to dig a little bit deeper into something, comment down below. I'd like to know your thoughts about that. But you're good, kids. You know what to do.